It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Good evening, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. My name is Heath, and this is Sidetrack Sunday. I've got a fantastic show planned for you today, and at the end of the show, I'll tell you what I've planned, because I don't have anything planned. I'm just going to make it up. Funny little story. I'm eating dinner with the girlfriend, and she says, so you're streaming tonight? And I'm like, no, it's not my night. Like, I'm not streaming tonight. And then she's like, yeah, it's the second Sunday. Isn't it your night? And that's when it sort of dawned on me that tonight's my night. But been doing a lot of work on the studio, which I'm in right now, and we'll start off tonight saying hello to people, but then we'll get to kind of showing what's going on, where things are headed, what I'm planning, and get to that kind of stuff from there. But before we get into that, let's say hello to some people. We've got Anthony Dodge, the model train outsider. We've got Artie from America Model Railroading. We've got Chicago, South Shore, and South Dokie. Welcome back. I haven't seen you in a little bit. Dan's Model Railroading Journey is here. Dragon Lover 68 in the house. Dwight Curley joining us as well. We've got Joe Rader from Black Rock Central Railroad, Tim from CP368 Productions. I'm assuming is it Rich from K&R Custom Models? Is K&R Custom Models Ken and Rich, or there's two channels with similar names and I can't keep them straight. I apologize. But we got Tyler from Lackawanna Rail Fans here, Ian from Lehigh River Subdivision, Mark from M&M Rails, Greg from Midsummer Railway N Scale. We've got John from Mystic Southern N Scale. No, we've got John from Mystic Southern Railway. We've got William from New Fenders Railroad, No Row, Norman Rose in the house. Lynn McCurdy's joining us. Jerry Sattarelli sneaking in. JD Grandpa Rails coming in as well. Bernard Helen is here. Let's see who else we got. We got Ray Bowall, one of our other Sidetrack Sunday members. We got Ray Ron VR. Roy Elpham from the West Coast, Sarah's Attic of Treasures. We've got John from Schuylkill River Valley, another Sidetrack Sunday member. And we've got Sparky 107107. And Sparky, I'm just as surprised I'm streaming tonight as you are. Steve 87th PSAP. And last but not least, we've got Wigwag Workshop. If I missed you, I apologize, but thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We did just show a list of all of the live streams and regular shows that we know about in the model railroading community. If you've got a show that you'd like added to the list, you can send myself an email. You can send John at Schuylkill River Valley an email. Send somebody an email. We'll get you added to the list. One change. Jason, the Train Freak, saying I missed the most important Sidetrack Sunday member. Jason, I had not seen Rick Bailey yet tonight, so that's why I didn't say hello to him. Mike the Rail Artist is joining us as well. Bernard, the list isn't posted anywhere. John from Schuylkill River Valley might post a video of just the list. He did that last time. But any of my videos, any of my recent ones will have the new list. Just make sure the colors are the same. But it's not, we don't really have it posted outside of that right now. Oh, Rick was third in the chat, but Rick's not here now. So what are we talking about today? What was I? Oh, I remember what I was saying. The one mistake on the list is my fault because I changed the time the day after John made up the new list. Starting tomorrow night, Modeling Monday is going to be after Tom's Trains and Things, not before. So we're going to start at 9:30. Tom may run long. Who knows what happens with Tom sometimes. But I'm going to start at 9:30 and we'll, people can join as is. And for people that don't know, the reason I'm doing that is because I got a week of work with the union. And in order to make sure that I'm back on time, I just need to push it back. So here we are. The new studio's happening. I posted a video, and I figure it's probably a good place as any to start. And you can see with the overhead camera, you can see there's a G-scale loop all the way around. And then in the corner, you can kind of make out just the corner of the O-scale. I don't actually have the O-scale track. I just have enough for the corners. So the track is on the way. And hopefully it's coming. The LGB train that I have is doing this stutter thing again. So I'm going to run it. We'll get it going. We'll see if we can get it all the way around without it stuttering too many times. But let me go back there and turn on the dial, and let's see what happens. This is the second train I got running in here. The first train was my my trolley that's also running back there. You can kind of barely make it out. I don't know if you just noticed or heard, but it did it did kind of just stop, and now it stopped again. It's just about to come back into view. I think what happened is I think it was left outside, like, but on a porch. So I think it's I think it's temperamental. So I'll probably have to take that locomotive apart a little bit more, clean it out, and go from there. I don't have any T-scale, but there's G-scale up there now. There's O-scale next to it. Yeah, Sparky, I've cleaned the track and the wheels so many times. This happened before when I was running it in my apartment. And what I needed to do was adjust the springs on the contacts that are actually in the locomotive. Part of the power pickup is actually a spring under the locomotive that rides up and down. And sometimes if it doesn't sit right, it stops apparently. So yeah, it's the contacts I think I need to clean. I don't have T-scale yet. You never know. So we have G-scale, we have O-scale will be coming next to it. If you can kind of tell, it's a little hard to tell in this image, but let's see if I back up a little, if I can point this up. The top shelf, stop it. I'm curious, could you hear the G-scale running with this microphone? I'm not sure if it was picking it up or not. But so on the entire top shelf under where the train's running is my O-scale stuff, as well as this here in the corner is also O-scale. Then below this all here kind of that is sort of all N-scale. The Z-scale is kind of in the middle, and then all of that on that wall. Below there's O-scale on the very top shelf, but just below is all my HO scale, and then this shelf here, and I'll get into the details. We'll walk around and look at it a little closer in a second. But that bottom shelf are kind of like short-term projects. So yeah, I can't wait for you to buy narrow gauge. Yeah, that's one thing I don't have. I have GO. My S scale is still in storage. I don't have that in here. I only have like one set, basically. It's a box set of S scale. Yeah, this right here is my HO scale NMRBO diorama. This below it is my Z scale layout on the shelf here, and there's a little trolley track here. Right now there's only N scale, but there's going to be N scale and HO. About the lights, if anybody's curious, these are the lights that are making those background colors right now. I've got two of them. I've got one that's to my left up here, and then there's the one that's up here is the one that's pointing at the ceiling. They will be able to be voice controlled, so I can change colors, turn them on and off, voice controlled. I spent most of my time getting all of the stuff like out. I've got 2 storage units and a bunch of stuff in the apartment. And what I've been trying to focus on doing is getting everything out of the apartment, get everything out of the storage units, so that we can go down to one small storage units. Let's see. Sparky says, not sure I like the lights. They're very distracting. They're not changing. They're just sort of there. But yeah, I mean, I've got other lights as well. When we go do some close-up stuff, I'll turn a little more white light on, and we could look at things a little closer. I need a disco ball and a couple of lava lamps. That would actually be kind of fun. David says, oh no, the blue room is turning red. Can't stay tonight, guys. Have a great show. Bye. See you later, David. Let's see, who else is here? We've got Mr. Pictovid in the house. Andrew, I need you to fix my locomotive. My G-scale locomotive stutters, and I think it's the pickups, but I don't know. I've tried cleaning them once. May need to clean them again. With those lights, the only thing he needs now is a pole in the middle of the room. Yeah, so the one thing I don't have in here is kind of the main thing that I model is the D-track layout's not here. I'm still trying to get a bunch of that stuff organized. And yeah, the smart lights are all the rage with the in-crowd YouTube creators. I don't know why. It's, it is a big thing. I just like it because it kind of gives a sense of depth. Like I'm definitely more sort of prominent in the screen. Yes, I can turn the lights down, and actually the easiest way to turn the lights down is actually by turning this light up. But yeah, like when I turn this light up, my main camera adjusts and it sort of changes. Considering the limitation of the space, I think it looks fantastic. You look like a small model train shop or a nice booth at a collector's show. Yeah, it's very interesting because everything is in boxes right now. So everything kind of takes up more space than, it takes up more space in the box than it would outside the box. So I feel like it looks like there's more stuff in here than there really is. Let's see. People are complaining about the colors. Let's see. People like, I can make it all red. If that's better. I can make it all green. I feel like green is kind of weird though. If I do everything in green, I feel like that gets a little weird. But yeah, I mean, you can also just make them all just cool white as well. But yeah, I mean, it does change it. The weird part is I can't actually dim them. When you dim them, for whatever reason, I mean, it's cheap LEDs, but oh, now they're not doing it. They used to flicker sometimes. So Sparky just said, I wonder if he can make them white. It did make them white. That's perfect. Yeah, I like the color, though. Am I the only one that likes the color? I think it's fun. I like purple or blue, but just desaturated. Yeah, I mean, I can, colors can be... I can make it a little, I can make it not as bright. There it's a little less bright. Yeah, I know. I can't please everybody. It's just it's just the way it is. I do like the color though. Some of the other things that I'm doing, yeah, Norman, it's your room. Do with it what you want. Yeah, the part of the problem with all these RGB lights is that there are so many options. Now everyone is a set director on Broadway. Thomas, you do know that I've worked on Broadway, right? I've never done set direction though. Mostly done lighting, and I've always sort of said that. Without lighting, the set person is kind of unimportant because without the lighting, you don't see anything, right? So let's help Heath out. Take a poll. Stay in the chat. White, red, green, red, purple. What's everyone's favorite color? And then Sparky says white. Put it on rotate. That's one thing I definitely will not do. I'm not going to put it on rotate. I think that's... I don't like that. My only concern with kind of the way it is now is I feel like it's so dark. It makes it feel like I'm in a cave, which is why I like it. Which is why I like it brighter. But maybe we can definitely play with the color a little bit. Try and find some colors that might look a little bit better. There's lots of. Of course, now I'm just going to spend all night playing with color because, why not? But yeah, right now I'm just doing this all with the app, but there is for real, everyone, help them out. What? No RGB? I like blue, blue, plaid. Thomas wants plaid. Grandpa Rail's orange. Wicked likes purple, yellow, red, red. Of course, Jason the Train Freak says red. And if I can convince Jason to come up here, maybe he'll even be in a red room. Lights are so important. Yeah, you know, they're like the blue. It looks better on the desktop on my phone. Looks better on your desktop than on the phone. Heath, you need a DMX and lighting control. Funny you say that, but DMX is, it's kind of older technology, and a lot of people are switching to like ArtNet and things like that, which I could probably actually run some of this stuff on. But so let's get to. Let me see if I can do this without messing things up. I have not had time, as I mentioned, to I haven't had time to redo the tech, so I'm gonna still have to play a little bit with the mics, turning them on and off. So I appreciate people bearing with me, but let's go from here, I guess. Let's get rid of Nancy saying hello. Second, I didn't notice your channel name. Second try. That's funny. Maybe different segments can be different colors. Oh, there you go. Periwinkle. Of course, Anthony Dodge. Oh wait, that's Split Rock that wants periwinkle. Sparky, I don't think anyone except for you said white. I don't think anybody did. All right, so let's switch cameras and switch mics. So I know the sound got a little worse. We'll fix it. We'll get it going. Yeah, it looks better on my desktop. Not as much glare. Yeah, the other thing that I noticed too is that the overhead look that does that overhead track is actually just a webcam. And the way it renders the colors is so drastically different. William from New Frienders likes the purple, mostly white with blue or red. Yeah, so we're actually going to turn on. We'll leave the colored lights on, but I'm actually going to flip that white light on, just so that we can. I like purple, so stop it, you all. Heath, you have purple. If you like purple, don't let these crazy people have a say. I agree. Like Eiffel 65. So funny little story about Nancy's latest video. Nancy's video. Let's go back. 1 second. So Nancy's latest video was a video that said the title of it was something to the effect of running my trains from an angle. And it was about an 8-minute video of her running her trains. And I sat there and I kept waiting for the angle to change because for some reason in my head, when I read the title, I thought it said running my trains from many angles. So I'm sitting here like minute after minute watching this whole video. And then at the end of the video, I go back and I read the title again and I'm like, oh, running trains from an angle. Anyway, sometimes my reading comprehension leaves something leaves. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. All right. So we're on this camera right now. Let's go around the room. I'll show you a little bit what I have going on here. First thing is the desk. Basically same setup that I had before, except the monitor that's now up here, this top one, is now connected to this, all to the same computer. It used to be connected to a different computer, so I was running things off of 2 computers. I'm trying it all off of 1 computer right now with moderate success. So things are going, okay there. I still have my, touch control here to change scenes. There's my little audio interface. These are the flowers that my girlfriend got me today for my first Sidetrack Sunday from the new studio. But yeah, so there is a light up here on the right that is off, right there. That light's off. That's if I'm going to do anything on the desktop, I'll use that light. To the right of the desk is the curtain, and this is blacked out. Oh, and it's actually dark out right now, but that does go to the outside. But I mostly keep that closed for various sound reasons and different stuff like that. To the left of the desk, my left, is a metal storage rack, and it fits behind the door. The dog's got her bed at the very bottom. Then I've got these bins right now, and I might be changing this, but right now a lot of these are like tools, and this one's tape. This one's cables. There's more cables in here, stuff like that. I got a little charging station here. This is all of my like small parts storage. So, like here's little tunnel portals, and what else do we got? Here's a little bell. This is a crossing gate bell. So this is all my small stuff. And then up above that is basically completely unorganized mess right now. So that's still sort of a John's saying that got organized fast right as I start talking about the thing that's not organized anymore. But yeah, I'm trying to did that work? Sorry, I couldn't talk for a second. I had to kill the one mic. Oh, good. Okay, there we go. No, it's not my dad says is it toilet paper. It's not toilet paper, it's paper towels. Because, we need it. I don't see any half-finished bottles of 12-year-old scotch. The only drink I have here is my flavored water. I'm more organized in this moment, but I don't know that I'm more organized in general. Thanks a lot, Derek. I appreciate that. I'll show you another area that's not so organized. This area right over here. This is still... Trying not to move too fast. This is still my pile of disorganization. This is everything that was on my desk when I was upstairs. And I'm still not sure where I want to put... Well, okay. There's paint trays back here, and there's a gallon of paint over there. That was not on my other desk. That's the wall color and stuff like that. But I'm not sure what I want to do with all that stuff. I like not having a lot of stuff on my desk. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do to possibly not put that back on my desk. This here, too, is, if you remember the O scale, I showed that. Let's actually take a look at it. You can see it better here. You can see that O scale track is kind of dangling, out in the wind. These little pieces that I made here are going to be the corners. This will go up in that corner to fill that in, so that hopefully the O scale trains don't take a dump. What I might do with all of that... Sorry when I move this. It's a small studio, and sometimes when I turn around, it moves quick. My dad is saying I have extra cipher lock. I have no idea what that is. You need a pull-out shelf under the bottom shelf for all that stuff. So what I'm thinking about is just under here, right? So you can see me touching it. If you look at the small picture, you can sort of see where it is in relationship to the desk. These are a bunch of small drawers here. I might just put a lot of the tools in here. And I might make this sort of my my tool area. Will be kind of in those cases underneath. I used to have all my trains in there, and yeah, a door lock. I've got a door lock. I'm not sure. We'll talk about it later. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's a lock on the door. And when I get the finished door, there'll be a beefier lock. This is just a temporary. So I need the tool area. Send it to me, Heath. Yeah, I think it. I think it would make a good tool area. It's not too far from the desk, so I think it'll work. So one of the other options would be once I clean up the mess. I kind of just got everything going temporarily. So I've got a big mess of cables. There's a small UPS right there. I'm going to swap it out for this bigger UPS. And then the small UPS will be for my train stuff. And the bigger UPS will be for the computer and all that kind of stuff. I got some folding chairs so that when I sit down, I've got folding chairs. Haven't brought the office chair down here yet. But yeah, it's a very organized train closet. It is. The Z-scale layout is lost in the corner. I didn't really know where else to put the Z-scale layout. So it's kind of working out okay. Z-scale here. I don't remember where I put the controller for it, so I don't have anything running right now. I'll probably lower this down a little bit, but this is the HO scale diorama. Lynn McCurdy sent me some train cars to put on it, and I just haven't had a chance to get to it yet. I've got like some stuff, like this is a whole set of HO scale Royal American show cars, and I didn't want to take it out of the box to put it on the shelf. So for now, I've just kind of got it, I kind of got it sitting there. But yeah, the flowers make the room. I do kind of like the flowers. They are kind of nice. The trolley is it's running away from me right now, but I got a little bit more track so that I can extend the trolley all the way into the corner, as well as extend it then all the way back to this edge here. So right now this is the G scale controller, but I'll move that somewhere else. Here's the Iowa Scale Engineering Motorman. The Motorman is what controls the N scale track. And these are some, this is some RGB strip lights that I got, and I'm going to put those under here. You can't see. I'll mount them under here so that I can make basically the color for the trolley and for whatever I've got running down there. I can make it a different color so that it it stands out. So if the rest of the wall's kind of blue, I can then make that a different color. So that's a little bit of it. Like how the road goes over the cliff. Yeah, I'm kind of a big fan of, and I did it on one of my modules too, where I kind of extended the scenery down the face of the front of it, and I thought it kind of really helped tie things in together. The Z scale won't fit in the windowsill, and it actually doesn't fit on this either. It actually hangs over a little bit, but I figure going around that corner that the Z scale is going to fall in, not out. I'm hoping. We'll see. She gave me the flowers so he doesn't forget to go back upstairs nightly. She's happy that I'm down here. She she likes having some having some alone time. So yeah. The trolley shelf, I'm really excited about it because once I get the N and the HO scale going, I'll put different I'll put different stuff on it. I could run anything on it. The Motorman is DC or DCC, so I can run any N scale thing that I have, DC or DCC. And the HO scale, I don't know how. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Norman says this is really amazing progress considering the rant Keith had about a week ago. Well done, sir. Uh, yeah, a week ago I was so close to like getting to this place that it was just so frustrating being so close and having it keep getting a little further out. Mr. Hot Dog, the new room is not an old basement. It's actually on the second floor, and as far as I know, nobody's been nobody's been here. Yeah, I used to do Christmas lights, and now we've got RGB strip lights. So, Dakman, I don't think I'll have a food cooking thing, but I am gonna get a like a water spigot thing. Where the charging station currently is, which is kind of down here to my side. I can turn this around actually. So where that right sorry, down here further. Right there. I'm gonna move the charging station somewhere else, and I'm gonna put a little it's one of those like Brita like refrigerator big ones. So John wants a health contest update. We absolutely can do that. Let me figure out where to do that. Oh, you know what? Of course, I didn't. Um, Actually, I think it's up to. So it's up to date except for one person. But let's look at this. Share screen, Chrome tab, health challenge. So yeah, the health challenge is actually going really well. If people want to join, you're still welcome to join. The challenge is, unfortunately, it's going to be based on BMI, just because that's how it has to be. Yeah, very popular metal shelves, that's for sure. If the back shelf was a little deeper, the train box and the trolley could run in front of them. That would free up the lower shelf. I could do that, but the room is so small that I didn't want the shelves to be too big. The upper shelves are 12 inches, and all the other shelves are 8 inches deep. So, but the health challenge, first prize is 75, second prize is 50, third prize is 25. It'll be based on body mass index. And we do at this point have, make this bigger. We've got 18 people joining us. And this person here, number 8, has just been like rocking out with the weight loss. I have not been doing as well, but yeah, so love to have more people join. It's just about taking a little bit of taking a step towards being healthier. I was talking to one person, and I'll just relay this story again, who was just saying, like, with their current situation, they probably really can't lose weight, but what they can do is get healthier. And we sort of talked that's then what what they should focus on is just getting healthier. Dakman, yes, I would agree. Derek, 2 inches would probably be enough. Yeah, I know. It's a catch-22. I don't necessarily need to free up that lower shelf, though. I don't feel like I don't feel like I don't feel like I need that shelf for stuff, and I like that shelf as a place, like as a dedicated place to just run stuff. It's kind of something that I wanted. Uh, so yeah, what I'm doing. So let's switch back to this camera. Yeah, round is a shape, not exactly the shape we're going for here. I am doing the round shape very well right now. I am trying to get away from that. So just to give people a little bit more of an idea of kind of what I do collect, most of my N scale collection. So this shelf that we're looking at now, all the way up to here, this is all circus, Ringling Brothers circus stuff. This is all Micro Trains line. I don't know how they sort of did the arrangement, but I guess they got some licensing agreement and they made all of these, Micro Trains circus stuff. Here's some Roundhouse N scale circus stuff. This is some Oxarbin circus stuff. Some Concours. It's not circus stuff, it's more carnival stuff. But that's kind of what that is. And then, like over here, is my Solar Series stuff, and then this in the middle is Z-scale stuff, and then up here is all the freight car stuff. And I guess you can't really see it unless I tip up. And it looks like more than it is because it's all in its jewel cases, so they kind of take up a lot of space. Oh, and all of this actually from, this is circus stuff. These are two Pennsylvania Railroad sets, and then this all the way to that corner of red boxes is all circus stuff as well. While we're on circus stuff, I guess I'll just keep going with circus stuff. This, you might be able to read it. It says Walther's Great Circus Train. That's the entire Walther circus set there. Up above, that's a K-Line O-scale circus set. And in the corner, actually behind that Markland box, is some Rail King circus items. And then if we go down a little bit further, in the corner right here are James E. Strait circus stuff. These are all the Roundhouse circus kits. And this is some Concours circus stuff. And this I got just because I thought it was a cool truck. A little bit in honor of Roy. But that stuff. Then I have all my Athearn stuff. This is... This is the Pennsylvania Railroad Congressional, Pennsylvania Railroad Streamline. Got a couple Broadway Limited cars. I don't know why I didn't get more, but that's what I got. This is some Amtrak Streamliner stuff. And Ian from Lehigh. This is... I've got my Lehigh Valley stuff. And I don't know... This is black... What does this say? Black Diamond. Which is apparently a Lehigh Railroad thing, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, Ian, if you're here, I'm curious. I'm curious what that Black Diamond is. If you know about it. Yeah, I'm not into circus stuff at all. Yeah, Tim, I am. I'm definitely a clown. I have an umbrella policy, homeowners policy sort of thing. So basically, yes. So funny little story about that. Oh, here we go. Black Diamond was a flagship passenger train for the Lehigh Valley, New York City to Buffalo. There you go. Anyone else picturing a bear on a unicycle? No, not just me. So funny little story. My girlfriend got me these flowers that are on my desk, and I was taking a nap, and what she did was she went and borrowed the key to the studio, and she thought she would be really funny, and she would, run down here, put the flowers in here so I wouldn't notice it, and then jump on out. What she doesn't know, or what she didn't realize, which I guess she should have, is that I've got a security camera in here that records everything. So I get a notice on my phone that she's in there, and I see her like scribbling a note. She also wrote me a little note. So I knew what she was doing, so I didn't say anything to her. But yeah, I've got security in here that pings my phone and other stuff. So yeah. Ray, I used to ride a unicycle. I unfortunately don't have one anymore. Unicycles take up space, and unfortunately, they're not the easiest to store when you don't have a lot of space. So, show us the security camera footage. I did save it to my phone. I actually, you know what? Give me a second. It may be on the computer. Let's see if it's here. That's funny about the flower drill. Yeah. Heath, Rick, and Ray on unicycles would be a great clown act. I don't disagree. Okay, let me see. I'm going to see if I can do this. Share video file. Oh. Boy, I hope I play the correct video when I do this. Let's just say that. Let's hope it's the correct video. I think this is it. Let's see. 18 seconds, 42 seconds. Let's try this one. What can go wrong? What? Oh yeah. Don't you dare show that of her. Oh, it's okay. You can only see the top of her head. The one wheel, Mark. Those one wheels are really. Those one wheels are really cool. So Ray, you want to see this video?
I'm not sure where this is going.
I'm not sure either. Are you ready?
Sure
Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Jason thinks he's the ringleader, and John's the lion tamer. I don't know, Ray. I thought you were the ringleader.
Probably.
Let's see what happens if I do this. Yeah, there she is writing a note, quickly trying to leave the note and then run out before. And she doesn't realize that this is all on video.
She's upstairs watching right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oops.
So, yeah, it was kind of funny, I guess.
Grandpa Rails.
What do you do? He's gonna get flagged after this. Maybe. Glenn says he loves your laugh. Yeah, Jason, she was totally busted, like totally. But that's what happens. That's what happens. She was trying to be sneaky. Yeah, so it's funny what Jerry says. At least she locked the door. When I watched the video, that's actually what I checked for. Just confirmed that she locked the door.
That's great.
But yeah, but it was an awesome gesture that she that she went out and she did that.
That's cool.
So that was really cool. But so Ray, now that you're here, should I show all of the GG1 boxes that I have?
Oh man, that would take you about 3 or 4 hours?
Yeah, luckily they're all yeah, that was super cool and romantic. It absolutely was. Rodney, welcome.
Oh man, there's somebody who's come out from underneath the rocks. What's going on, Rodney?
So Tim says I need to equal the girlfriend's fitness level. Yeah, she always gets on me about that too. Get a remote lock in next time she goes in. Lock her in until you get there. That's funny. That's funny.
Well,
Jerry
now we
says
know what
you're
happens with Amanda at the house. That's the reason why he's got. Never mind. The red room.
yeah. Yeah, luckily Amanda's not here. Who knows? So let's go so people can see it. Here we are again on the shelf, and let's see. So where are they? Oh, there they are. So it's not that big, but that's the GG1 collection here. And then these back here, and then I got the DeWitt Clinton, blocking the way. But that's the HO scale. I get what I don't have them all in one place. I guess I've got them spread out. I didn't realize that. I've got because it didn't really occur. I guess I didn't plan this out very well. So that's the HO scale GG1s are right there. The N scale GG1s are there's one here. There's one here. And then there should be another one somewhere because I've got to put a decoder in it. Here's the Z scale GG1s, which I thought were kind of fun. The O scale GG1s are over here. That's a K line in the front. There's a Lionel in the back, and then this is a Williams GG1. It's a TCA anniversary GG1, and I think that's the only GG1. And we didn't talk about. I mean, it's obvious, right? It's the Lionel orange. It's kind of hard to miss, but I didn't specifically call it out. But yeah, that's the majority of stuff. Oh, I didn't. There's some you can kind of see in that little corner there. Those are like old Tyco things that I didn't have any boxes for. And actually, I believe all of these are Tyco, and I've just got them in AHM boxes. But they're, they're all the old, Budweiser car, and this one's the Planters Peanut. And of course, they've all got. Oh no, I thought they had different couplers, but they're all the old plastic couplers, so they're not great. And then I know I've showed this before, but here's my my first HO train set came with, of course, the Chattanooga Tyco plastic caboose, and I don't know where anything else from the set is, but I still have the caboose.
Well, that last car was just nuts.
Which last car? The
one
caboose?
that you had in your hand. The one that you had in your hand before the caboose.
Which was this?
the Planters car. It's just nuts.
Oh, nuts! Oh,
Hey, you brought me up.
Apparently, I need a better lock on the door.
Well, your dad was talking about that earlier.
Yeah, apparently. Containment says it looks like a hobby store. What's for sale and list your prices. It's not for sale, but I got this kind of in honor of you because it's a super rig, but it's a circus one. So I got that truck, and I actually have somewhere I've got some other trucks. Oh, and this is the shelf. I just realized I didn't talk about this shelf yet. So this shelf, I'm kind of leaving as my projects I want to get to sooner than later. So these are some circus kits. This is actually a haunted house kit down on the bottom that I just got because I thought was neat. The model train technology is a DCC LED controller, and the Digikai's DR4050 is a. Are people making jokes?
No, they're picking on me. For once, instead of picking on you, so that's fine.
Oh yeah, Ray is definitely the ringleader. See, I don't know why Jason would think he's the ringleader.
No, I think he was trying to say that John was the ringleader.
K&R, where did you get that? Did you get that through the NMRA, or where did you get that from? Because I have just a general or a general umbrella policy, but I've been thinking about getting something more. So I'm curious. Actually, if you wouldn't mind emailing me where you're getting it from, because I'm not going to remember anything in 20 minutes. Jeez. But yeah, so those are my short projects. The DR4050 are LED strips. They're just like these LED strips, except they're DCC controlled. So I'm gonna put these for the trolley track, and then under the trolley track, like under here, I'll put the DR4050 set that'll do day to night stuff on the T track.
Apparently, Norman has missed a few of my live streams as to what was that. That is a old noise box. It makes different noises, and it's And no, I don't think clown cars have seats.
Yeah, K&R. Let me know. I'm curious. Let me know what that is, or who you get it through. If it's just your regular insurance provider or something different. So, because things couldn't go more off the rails.
Oh God! It's the tree.
That it is. How's it going, fellas?
It's going fantastic. I got a really awesome invite for lunch today. Had lunch with some really great. Oh wait, no, I never got an invite.
Yeah, I was going to say I missed that invite. What the heck was that?
Oh my gosh!
You want to explain yourself, Rick?
Not really. I was actually invited myself, so it wasn't my get together. But let me see if I have the.
And by the way, and by the way, Joe, yes, it does.
Hang on, I'm trying to see if I can find the picture.
Sorry.
So,
that's a good idea, Norman. Actually, get a monorail to run underneath the shelf. So Jerry says it was his.
Yes, it was Jerry's, and I didn't know if I didn't know if it was okay to say why we were all there. That John might have. I don't know if he's got something special for that, but I will show you the. Here, I'll share my screen, and I'll show you all the pictures, or at least, there's one.
First we get video, now we're going to get pictures.
No video. So a couple of us got together for lunch today. Jerry invited John, Mr. Fultz, and myself. And as you can see there on the left, the most important person at the table is my son. We all met today at the same place we met a year ago, before we went into lockdown for COVID or the showstopper. So John and Jerry had something that they were doing, and I was just kind of invited to go along. So we hung out. We had some lunch. We had some good laughs, some good talks. So that's just us today hanging out. So
nice.
Funny thing of it is last night, my daughter's boyfriend's in town, and he's a big sports fan. His birthday was this past week, so my daughter treated the family to a ball game down at Camden Yards. Well, unbeknownst to me and unbeknownst to my daughter, normally you can catch the light rail up here in Lutherville, near where I live, and actually take it all the way down to Camden Yards. So we get on the train last night, and it only takes us to Falls Road, because beyond Falls Road, they're working on the tracks. So you can't go any further south. It was like we were on the train for maybe 5 minutes. So then they put you on a bus and they take you to the stadium. It's like, okay, this sucked. And then we found out on the way back, like I said, why they did. And it's like, man, so we actually got to get back on the bus, go back to Falls Road, and then get back on the train. And then, But
So if
yeah,
I didn't know that Containerman 68 drove a truck, this comment right here would have a whole different meaning.
Before it got,
But Sparky and Rail Artist headed out. People were saying people. I shouldn't say people because I should call out who it was. Norman Rowe was saying that the lunch was two actors that played Uncle Fester and Addams Family.
oh my God.
Which unfortunately I think
you're right.
I can see. I can see.
Oh boy.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I actually do have a video of the train coming into the station up at the Lutherville station last night, but that's the only video I got of the whole thing. But the reason why I brought it up, since you guys were talking about Jerry, I was one of the stops that they actually had to make was at the rail station, and now I can't think of the name of the darn thing. It's where I actually called Jerry from last year when I went to meet up with him at the trolley museum down here in Baltimore. And my GPS took me to that train station, and the streetcar museum is actually across the tracks and down the hill on the opposite side.
Oh,
so,
cool.
But to get to it, you got to go across the tracks, and you got to make a couple of right-hand turns to be able to get to it. But yeah, it was like I was telling my family, I'm like, oh yeah, I was over there last year.
I love the. I mean, even though Jerry didn't invite me to lunch, I loved Jerry did a live stream today from, and I don't remember the name of the station, but some station near him, and he he showed us around. It was really kind of a neat, to see. He talked about the old part of the station versus the new part of the station, and why was the station 2 stories and that kind of stuff. So it was an interesting live stream he did.
Yeah, I wish I would have thought about it while I was actually down at the ballpark last night. I could have taken some really good pictures of what's left of the warehouse at Camden Yards, which I need to model. That's one. And one of the other things that I happen to think about is we passed by one of the other train stations that's now no longer in use, and that's Mountain Royal. I think that may have actually been for the Maryland and Pennsylvania. It's possible that was actually one of the first Baltimore and Ohio railroad stations, but that's now been repurposed and is being used by the Maryland Institute College of Art, or MICA, if anybody is familiar with that. So yeah,
I'm not, but that is cool. Deckman's talking about, just to mention, there is a train show kind of in the area down in Edison, New Jersey on August 14th and 15th. I'm pretty sure that I'm going Saturday, I think. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm probably going Saturday. Hopefully I'll be able to see some people there, maybe. Maybe Jerry will go there. Maybe. And maybe he'll invite me if he does. But while we're thanking
me, if you're going, you need to invite him.
I'm not going to invite him, not after today. While we're thanking people, though, I do want to thank the people that are members of the channel through Patreon and YouTube, as well as my channel sponsors. Andy says there's an old station at Camden Yard. It's one of the earliest B&O stations.
Yeah, I wasn't actually. Well, the part that I was at last night was actually the warehouse. We were actually on the first base side of the field. But yeah, yep.
Jerry says, should thank me for not. I should thank him for not inviting me because it's tradition that the new guy pays. So Jerry, you going to Edison? Who's going to Edison? I think Dakman will probably go. Andy and I may go down on the train. Who else are you? How close are you, Rick, to Edison, New Jersey?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe I used to work up there a couple years ago. I think I'm about an hour and 45 minutes from there.
Oh, that's probably about the same it'll take me to get there.
Yeah,
between getting on the train and everything to get down there. But
I
know
that would be a straight drive for me up 295. It's about
right.
an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like Tehachapi is having a new train show as well. Jerry is saying it's 2 hours, but he's not saying whether he'll attend or not. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun. I'll probably wear my my baseball hat so that people can recognize me. I don't know if anybody would actually recognize me or not, but I'm hoping that maybe somebody recognizes me. Because I think that would be fun.
You're very recognizable.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm recognizable by 2 people in the world.
One being your dog.
Yeah, exactly. Although she recognizes me by sniffing me, so.
Hey.
I'm just saying.
We don't need to know how you say hello.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that would be actually a bit of a haul for me. That's like a 2.5 hour run.
Yeah, it's I went to the Secaucus one because it's closer to New York City, but it's like it wasn't even worth going to because it was so small. The Edison one is like just big enough that it's worth going to for how far away it is. But it's it's definitely oh, I heard the RPM in St. Louis I heard was really good. Yeah, did anyone else go? And PK and W, what was your favorite part of RPM? It's pretty cool. Robert, if it's only 3,000 miles, that's like right around the corner. Looks like Hot Rod's going to be racing next Saturday. Nice. Is that's dirt track, right, Rodney? That's what you're doing? Jerry's saving his money for Timonium.
I am going to be at that one.
Oh, yeah?
That one's right up the street from me. That's like 15, 20 minutes away from the house, if that.
I feel like that one's like 2.5 from me or something. But
yeah, that would be a little bit of a haul.
I'm curious, though, how big is it compared to Edison? That's the thing, is like nobody knows. Like we all only know our local show. Like I wouldn't know if it's worth.
I can tell you that the Timonium show normally, this is the thing, it depends on which one it actually is, because there's a couple different folks that run them. I have to go back and actually see which one this one is. If it's the one that was originally run by Howard Zane, it is huge. It actually fills up, and don't laugh at this, but this is exactly where they put it. They put it in the Cow Palace because that's the Timonium Fairgrounds is also what's used for the Maryland State Fair over the Labor Day week.
I mean, that's what the Amherst train show is, basically where they auction off the cows. They put it in the big room. Pappy's asking, what is Timonium?
Timonium, Maryland is right off of 83 South, coming out of when you come out of Pennsylvania, if you're coming from York. Timonium is, I don't know, about 25, 30 minutes outside of Baltimore City. It's really easy to get to from 83. It's also easy to get to from the Baltimore Beltway. So if you came down 95, came across 695, and then went back north, you could get to it fairly easily that way too. But yeah, the neat thing with the Timonium Fairgrounds, if they have it at the Cow Palace, it's actually when you walk into what would normally be like the cafeteria area, and off to the right is where they have all the club layouts, and off to the left is where all the swap meet is going on. You have your sponsors and things like that too. But yeah, it's like the left side's all the sales and the right side's all the layouts.
Now, my understanding, and I'm going to screw this up, I'm sure, but Greenberg went out of business. But I thought it was the people that run the Great Model Train Show took over the Greenberg locations to keep the Greenberg shows going. I thought there was some like.
If that's the case, then that would be good, because the Greenberg, when it used to come down here, which was usually in November, right around Thanksgiving time-ish, was a small show. They used to hold that up at the exhibition hall. That gives you if there's any, I'm trying to think of how big the exhibition hall down is not that big. I don't know how many square feet it is, but it's like, I don't know, maybe an eighth to a quarter of the size of the Cow Palace. So it's definitely a lot smaller if they went into there. But yeah, the Timonium show is a big one. Like I said,
when is it? I just brought up the website to try and share the information.
The Great Model Train Show, I believe, is the first weekend in October this year.
Is it saying the website? Oh, here we go. Let's share. I wish it was easier to share. I guess if I knew more what I was doing, it would be easier to share, or it could be. But so we're back. Next show is October 2nd and 3rd of 2021. So, yep, Maryland State Fair. There's the address. Let's see how far it is from me. Oh no, I'm gonna guess it's far. Directions. Let's look at driving. So, yeah, it's 3 hours and 10 minutes for me driving.
So the Edison show that's coming up, that's Greenberg's.
Correct.
Okay, so they're leaving. They're going to Edison, and then they're coming down to me. So they're coming to Oaks, which is the closest. The Greater Philadelphia Expo Center is the very next week, the 21st and 22nd.
But I think if I'm not mistaken, and somebody's probably said it in the thing, when Greenberg went out, even though it's still called Greenberg, it's not like run by Greenberg anymore, or right. The people that ran Greenberg. But yeah, it looks like Oaks, Pennsylvania, is after the Edison one.
Right. So let me just.
Well, the Great
Jackman's going to be at Greenberg Oaks as well.
The thing with the Great Model Train Show is it used to be run by, like I said, if I know most folks in the model railroading community know who Howard Zane is, with the Piermont division of the Western Maryland. Him and a couple of guys used to run the Great Model Train Show in Timonium. In fact, he used to have a booth set up where he would go in, where he would appraise brass locomotives for folks. That way they could understand what they had.
Yeah, and here it is. It shows right here the various show brands now are World Greatest Hobby on Tour, the Great Train Show, Greenberg's, and Great Midwest Train Show. So they're now all being run by the same group. It looks like. So Jerry's saying it's worth the trip to Timonium. Andrew used to go to Timonium. I don't know. I know for a fact that I went to Greenberg shows. I don't know where the shows were that I used to go to. I'm pretty sure they weren't in the same. I remember them being much bigger than the Edison shows, but then again, I was also much smaller. So, I have no idea. Someone says Ray is correct, but we will always blame Heath. So
yeah, I am planning on being at that at the train show in Timonium. I don't know if I'm going to make both days or if I'll just make Saturday or if I'll just make Sunday. I got a buddy of mine, and I saw that. I know that Joe Raider, he lives not that far from me. He's going to be over there. But I got a buddy of mine that I bowl with that's in the HO&S, Old American Flyer. And unfortunately, he has to work on Saturday. So normally if he was going to go, we would go on Sunday. But we'll see. I might turn around and say, hey, you know what? The heck with it. I'll just go both days.
My dad's saying I went to Edison and I think Philly. Would Philly be the Oaks PA one, or is that?
Yeah, probably. Well, depending how. If you were that young, it may not have been Oaks. It may have been in the convention center at that point. But
in the Philadelphia Convention Center?
Yeah, I think that's where they used to do it before Oaks.
I mean, all those Athearn Blue Box, for the most part, or at least as far as I remember, all came from Greenberg train shows.
I'll actually be getting back from vacation that Friday before. But if I am available to go, Jerry, John, if you guys want to go, maybe we could do lunch or something. Just putting an invite out there in case, you know.
And if I go, would I be invited to lunch or no? Not at all.
Well, you're the new guy, so just remember you got to pick up the tab.
Well, knowing you're on a diet, so I think I might be okay for.
You could be.
So I might be okay buying you a salad.
That's true. I'm good with water.
Yeah, Rodney, it would be great to catch up again, bud. And Anthony George's Sunbelt, were you planning on coming up for the October show?
The Mid-Atlantic RMP meet this year is the weekend of September 11th. It's near BWI and accessible by train. That's an interesting idea. So the hard thing for me right now, I mean, it might change, but the hard thing for me right now is I kind of need to make it a day trip. Like, I can't really afford to add in the hotel to make it an overnight. So I kind of got to do it as a day trip. And I don't know if I feel like that's just a little bit too far for a day trip. John said, I bought today, don't count on saving money. Oh, that's too funny. Oh, that's too funny.
Oh, come on, John. I even skipped on dessert, brother. It wasn't that
bad. So people look out for Dakman if you're going to either Greenberg, Oaks, or Timonium. Looks like he's going to be at all.
Nice.
Of them.
Ian, hit me up on email because there are a few things in the area, and we could discuss that. But yeah, there are a few things around here. There's a bunch of good restaurants in the area.
Dakman, what day are you going to be at Edison? Yeah, I could stay over with you. The problem is then I couldn't take the train down because you don't live near the train. So I could spend 4.5-5 hours on the train, or I could spend 7 hours to you and around.
Who doesn't live near the train?
I was just reading John's.
My dad is along the way, but not there.
Schuylkill River.
Do you want to explain yourself, Rick?
Not really. No, I'll stop passing that one. Thanks, John.
I just want to know what happened to the other half of the pig.
Steve's saying my dad will pick me up and drive us down. Are the RPM meets really big? I guess that's, I had only really experienced the Greenberg shows, and then I went to Amherst.
Which half?
And Amherst is insane compared to the Greenberg shows, and it's just like, I don't know. Like, now I don't know. When people talk about shows, I don't know what the. I'm waiting for Rick to see it. Derek says the other half of the pig fed 18 other people. Apparently, Jerry was the other 18. Dakman, you have got to go to Amherst. If it is, there are 7 buildings. Like, imagine a like a 4-H show where they're auctioning off cows and they have all of those huge buildings. It's huge. If Rick is muted, I didn't do it. Are you muted, Rick?
I don't think so. Am I?
I don't think so
Hello?
either. I think Ray muted himself when he was laughing, so people didn't
I
hear.
didn't want to interrupt.
Mine's on.
RPM St. Louis was not large by National Train Show standards. Interesting. Yeah. Where is Amherst? So Amherst is in Springfield, Massachusetts at the Big E. The Big E is the big fairground up in that area. Oh, interesting. Jerry says he's never been to Amherst, but I don't think Timonium is that big or impressive. Yeah, Amherst is... go and find... Tim, it's not Amherst, Connecticut. It's actually in It's actually in Springfield, Massachusetts. The RPM shows are usually smaller meets from train shows. Oh, Gotcha. Yeah. Andy, I don't need to buy anything else. Now that I've taken everything out of storage, I do not need to buy anything else. But Amherst, there are lots of videos out there on Amherst. It's put on by the Amherst Club, but it's in Springfield. And I'll share this page. It's so hard to explain how big it is. So I went up with my girlfriend's father, and we spent maybe 2.5, 3 hours there. But I thought I had seen everything. But I was kind of surprised. Oh wait, Derek's saying they might have circus trains. Who might have circus trains? I actually saw circus trains at Amherst. I thought I had seen the whole show, but I hadn't seen any. I've seen some layouts, but I hadn't seen a lot of layouts, and I was kind of surprised that there weren't more layouts at Amherst. And what I didn't realize is that you have to go through this one building into this other building, where in like the back was like the huge area with all the train shows. So there were like a couple layouts within like each of the buildings, and then there was this whole building with just layouts. Amherst show is the one that no one knows real name. That's so funny. RPM meets are clinics and models for display. Sometimes vendors and manufacturers show up to the big ones. Yeah, I know Iron Planet Hobbies, one of my sponsors, I know was at the St. Louis RPM meet. So I want to check that out. But yeah, I mean, this is I don't know how to describe. You can see videos on Amherst. You can, you can describe it, and it's just you just can't imagine it. I mean, everybody is at Amherst, it seems like. It's just wild. John Secardoti, I did an interview with him in January before the virtual train show. If people want to kind of get to know who the guy is that runs the show. Am I going to get in trouble for showing these pictures on my stream?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm promoting the show, right?
Yeah, why not?
But yeah, like if you want to talk to like NCE and Digitrax and TCS, they're all there. They're all at Amherst. So it's really pretty cool. Yeah, I am definitely going to plan an overnight the next time I go to Amherst. Think of a fairgrounds like a state fair and picture all of the exhibit halls and animal displays filled with trains. Yep.
I don't
That's
think I've ever
basically
been
it.
to a county fair or anything, so I got no idea.
Don't you live like in I'm just gonna say something mean.
What else is new?
I was going to say, what's holding you back?
I was like, I'm just gonna leave it out. So the 2022 show will be January 29th and 30th. It's generally the very, very last week in January. Yes, the YouTube police are going to be knocking on my door.
They have to find his
Third
door
week in
first.
January. It's actually, I think, the 4th. This is Pennsylvania. That's where when I think about Rick, that's what I think about is Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Now, am I wrong? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I was at this year's online version. It was great for me, like the NMRA online. Hope there are more hybrid shows. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen, especially because, like, now with all the live streaming, like, I can go up and do a live show from Amherst on my channel, and so can 600 other model railroad people. So I'm curious if they're going to do, like, an official hybrid show, or, or what it's going to be, what it's going to actually be like. You can't... The problem is you can't touch things and buy things on the virtual show.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what I think is really great about train shows is, like, I can find it now. Let's see if I can find it. So, if I'm organized enough, I was able to find this. But
Nice.
this Great Northern, no, not really. I showed it on another video of mine. It's a Great Northern instructional car for fire prevention. And, like, I just saw this and I was like, oh, I like microtrains. It's a cool, it's a cool thing. Yeah, I would like to see the clinics live streamed and then be able to, go buy stuff. What you do is you go and film live and give your perspective, and that'll make your stream unique. Yeah, he has his own train show right here in the studio. That's funny. Off the bed. William's working at 5:30.
Nice.
Go ahead, Rick.
Heath, I did say I was going to join your show before I put the kids to bed, but that didn't happen. So I'm going to run and get the saplings off into bed, and I will be on my phone watching the rest. But I will leave you and Ray to your own destruction.
Yeah, I was hoping maybe Jason would come up because he was talking some smack earlier about who was steering the ship, but he hasn't.
I did see him in there chit-chatting a bit.
Yeah. Well, good luck. Good luck rallying the troops.
Yeah. It's definitely it's going to be something because all the little ones have colds, so it's going to be a snotty experience.
Oh,
I know.
Good luck with that.
There's an oyster on your lip. No, it's not.
On that note, thank you, Ray. Appreciate it. Everybody in chat, have a good night. I'll catch you over in the comments.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I think it was my dad or my grandfather told me that one years ago.
So I'm curious about something, Ray. Because what I'm realizing is like you get to have all or a lot of your rolling stock on your layout.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't judge, like, a guy like you probably has so many more HO scale stuff than I do. But, like, when I look at it on the wall, it looks like an insane amount of stuff. But it's really not. So I'm kind of curious. Have you ever like gone through and do you have a storage room for your stuff, or is it all just on the layout, or how do you kind of organize your collection?
Right now, it's funny you should ask that, because I've actually been working on updating my inventory sheets, and it doesn't want to move. Anyway, well, it's because it's not responding. Okay, great. My computer is having a conniption fit here at the moment. Give me a second.
Of course it is. Of
I
course.
tried. I tried to move the thing, and it didn't like that. So from the last count of my rolling stock, I have a total of 206 pieces of rolling stock.
Yeah, I don't have close to that. I'm not close to that.
140 of which are actually on the layout someplace, either
cool.
either in the storage drawers where the hidden yards are, or on the layout at someplace. You have to remember, with the way my layout's set up at the moment, it's a point-to-point plus the loop, which means I can come down here, turn it on, and let it be a showpiece, or I can actually run it like an actual railroad.
Yeah.
But I don't have enough storage tracks. Actually, kind of like Jason's doing, I don't have enough storage tracks on the layout to be able to handle all the traffic that I'm forcing across this thing.
So are you saying Jason is insufficient?
No,
Jason is lacking?
No. What I'm saying is Jason's doing the same thing I'm doing, and that's using storage bins or storage drawers to store the extra rolling stock. The only thing I'm not doing is and I think I showed it in one of the vlogs not that long ago, the passenger trains are actually up on the layout in a pocket that's not being used, along with the locomotives. So that way I had some place to put them. Now, I was hoping to get done this afternoon. Yeah, I was hoping to get done this afternoon with an update vlog, but since I haven't, I'll go ahead and kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit. I've been rerunning the schedule and actually running with mixed freights instead of unit trains. There's only 2 unit trains now, and that's the coal train and the chemical train. That's the tankers. Everything else is mixed. I'm running anywhere between 12 to 15 cars per train, and that, of course, that's for the freights. And I still have the passenger trains. One of the things I found by putting all this rolling stock into the 2 hidden yards, what I've been doing is I'll have a passenger train and a freight train staged. I cannot stage more than 2 trains at once in either direction. So the maximum number that I can stage is 4. Where before I could actually stage 6, or maybe even 7 or 8. But now
are you going to try and build a bigger staging yard, or what? Or you just going to stick with the 5-finger crane?
Well, for the moment, it's still staying 5-finger Mike. Eventually, I'm going to, at some point, and it's not going to happen anytime in the near future, but go into what we basically call the exercise area, because eventually my daughter will move out. The bedroom down here will open up. We're going to move the exercise equipment into there, and then I'll get that extra space.
That's where you have the bike that you use to power the layout.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Thanks, PKNW. Great show tonight, gentlemen. Thank you.
Actually, it's where I hang my clothes to dry when they come out of the washing machine. But that's beside the point. But yeah, I mean,
that's what I use my exercise equipment for as well. Is to dry my clothes.
You gotta have some place to dry your clothes. But anyway, I'll eventually take over that area, and when I do, the staging yards will become a lot larger, and I'll play around with that when I get there. It's good. Like I said, it's going to be a long time before I think I'm ready to get into that.
But, I think it's definitely it's definitely a fine line between having enough staging and then, having enough actual running space, because it's kind of that, you almost need just as much staging as you have running space.
Yeah.
As far as just amount of track, length of track.
Absolutely.
And, if you're not doing a double, layout, double deck or triple deck with the helix, really hard to have enough space to get all the staging in. But yeah, I just, all these plastic bins that I have back here that I showed earlier, that's where all of this N scale stuff was in those bins. And I only, I like it as wallpaper, so that's kind of why, I got it back there. But, it's fun. I like that. I don't know why.
I didn't even realize.
So Jason,
What's up?
so you're the ringmaster? Is this what I? Is this? What
I
I'm
didn't
hearing?
say ringmaster. I said ring leader.
Ring leader.
Yeah. I don't know who the ringmaster is.
I knew that was coming.
Oh, you guys are trouble.
But see,
that's
now
for
I
sure.
hopped in the clown car, so
Tim saying he's going to build a layout with 4 decks and 0 staging yards, just fiddle tracks and drawers.
isn't
Yeah,
a fiddle
what-
track staging?
Well,
Well, it depends. If it was kept in a potato sack, well, then it's a fiddle. But if it was kept in a case, then it's a violin.
so I think
That was awesome.
I think a little bit the difference is that when Americans talk about staging yards, we are talking about fiddle yards. But the people in the UK, when they talk about fiddle yards, I think they're are talking about something a little different than that. But yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, if you're using your staging yards as like the other town, I think then it is a fiddle yard. That's basically what it is.
So, like, with the way I'm building this layout, there's actually 4 staging areas, but 2 of them are yards because in order to have a yard, you got to have 2 or more tracks. So, I'm going to actually have 10 tracks total, and I still don't think it's going to be enough.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. When I built mine, I figured 4 tracks was going to be 4 outbounds for each one of the hidden yards. 4 outbounds and 1 inbound was going to be plenty. And I'm finding out, because like I just got finished saying, when I first started messing with the schedule, I could go ahead and put 1 passenger train, or depending on what the rotation was. And when you started out, it would be a passenger train, a freight train, and a passenger train pre-staged in either yard. When I decided to expand go from the unit trains to the manifest or the mixed freights, that changed the ball game completely, because now you're talking 13, 14 cars, and they could be anywhere from the 40 footers to 50 footers. The
Are you laughing at Rick's comment or at yeah?
Yeah.
No,
I mean, the
one-
clown car was already full. I wasn't going to try to cram into it,
But
I think what Split Rock is saying is kind of the distinction that I make between them as well. Is like yes, a staging yard is for storage, but the second that you actually use it as a location where you modify your trains once they're in there and going back out, then it becomes a fiddle yard.
And I think the other thing too, my thing for a fiddle yard would be that it's not hand done. In other words, it's not something where you're using, like we were talking about, the hand of God, or 5-finger Mike, whatever you want to call it, to move a car on and off the layout. You've actually got a locomotive that's switching cars in and out of that area to go ahead and make and break up trains. So in theory, my railroad actually has 2 hidden yards for staging and a fiddle yard on the layout, which is Beauville. Because
I wouldn't consider an on layout yard. I wouldn't consider it a fiddle yard, I guess. I don't
No.
know what I would call it.
Well,
But I would only
just a
consider a
yard.
fiddle yard if you're fiddling with it.
Yeah.
well,
I mean,
the other
unless
thing
you're
of it is,
using what they call the fine finger uncoupler, you know.
Yeah.
well, the other thing is that to a point, I guess Beauville would actually be considered more or less considered a classification yard, because the stuff that's coming in gets moved, and then the stuff that's going out that's outbound is getting reclassified to be sent back out on the next train out. So it's really, in reality, it's a small classification yard. Fiddle yard is an 050. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
What's an
five-finger Mike.
050?
Huh?
An 050 being like a... Oh, gotcha. I'm a little slow. I'll be over here if anybody needs me.
A little?
Yeah, Split Rock's saying a fiddle yard is when you add or remove cars from the layout. And
Okay,
that's
so
what I would-
that's my two hidden yards then.
Yeah. So you do have staging, sorta.
I've got fiddle yards.
Hillbilly likes Jason's staging yard.
Thank you.
So if you get angry at a car and hit it, is that a 5-finger death punch?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what is it called if you get pissed off at a car, pick it up, throw it across the room, and it hits the wall on the other side? What would that be called?
That would be the
brick in the wall.
5-finger fastball.
I don't know.
Mr. Jimbo Train says, I learned from listening, and I like to say I learned from making shit up and then trying to convince people that it's actually a fact.
I just make it up as I go. I agree.
If it's switched with a locomotive, it's a classification yard. Fiddle yards are made up by hand.
Right.
There you go. Pappy says, that's expensive. Yeah, that's what I was referring to, Joe, was the Vinny moment. Sort of a waste of money. But doesn't it feel good sometimes to take something, throw it against the wall, and see it break into multiple pieces? Oh. Or as Split says, that's called switching
Hey.
on the Union Pacific.
I've done that a few times.
It's an 05 go.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. I like Roy's. 5-finger accelerated disassembly.
Okay. 5-finger death punch for the win.
Yeah, that would be the problem, is you'd have parts everywhere. If you actually wanted to put it back together when you were done, that might be kind of difficult.
The one above that from Ian's pretty good.
Yeah, no trains are... No trains are hurt in the making of this chat. And Jerry's... I'm the same way as Jerry is. I hadn't heard of a fiddle yard until I started hearing it from the UK people. What did we call a fiddle yard before
Staging.
just staging, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's all it was.
We call it staging yard because that's where you actually stage your trains. Where, you know, the UK, they always got to have some other different type of terminology.
One of the things
So-
that I remember hearing years ago from the old Dream Plan build, or even actually before that, it was long before that, when Model Railroader first started putting out their videos, one of the things that one of the guys talked about was having an off-stage area for your trains, because what you're trying to do is emulate a transportation system. And obviously, because of the fact that all of our layouts are surrounded by 4 walls, they have nowhere to go. They're limited as far as how far they can go. So when you think about a staging yard, and and Heath, you've been in theater, you understand that's
your
actors and
wings.
cast, exactly. They come on and off the stage to make the set look a lot larger than what it actually is, and that's the whole purpose behind a staging yard, is to make your layout seem a lot larger than what it really is.
Derek's saying that he thinks the UK has fiddle yards as opposed to staging yards because of the limited space in the UK. I wonder if a fiddle yard is smaller in general than a staging yard, because in a staging yard, in theory, you want to try and like line up, let's say 8 or 9 trains, but maybe in a fiddle yard you only have 1 or 2, and you're actually swapping them out. Maybe I'm making stuff up. I'm learning. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm just asking that question, kind of thing. Is I wonder.
So, I followed some of the UK channels as well. Chadwick being one of them, and right now he's in the process of putting I call it a staging yard under his layout, like he's putting 2 helixes in, and it's kind of the same setup like Panama Roy, and where staging is under the layout, and Chadwick calls it a fiddle yard. And they said that's because you're constantly fiddling with it by taking cars on and off. And that's
Grandpa Rails wants to know if we should call it a violin yard instead.
Well, that's what I was getting at earlier.
Well, if it was my vote, I would have went cello.
Sector plate, a small section of track on a solid piece of material that can be moved and replaced so different train engines can run onto a display layout. There you go. I've heard people call those cassettes.
And there was a fellow, and I had actually thought about doing this a while back too, but it would take up way too much room, and even though I do kind of have the space, there was a fellow that actually had, for his railroad, built, like you were talking about, literal cassettes. They were boxes with track on the inside. And the rail car that was assigned to that you would just back it into it, take the car card and slide it into a pouch on the outside of the box, and then take the box and put it underneath the layout. And it was like, well, that's really cool, because now you're not even touching the rolling stock, which is a great thing. But I'm like, well, what happens if somehow or other that car card disappears, or you forget and don't put the car card in there, or you put a card in there and forget to put the piece of rolling stock inside of it? And then you sit there, you start thinking about the passenger cars, which are, with mine, are 70, 80 feet long scale. That's a long box to be putting something into.
N scalers will use I don't remember if it's T8 or T12 tubes. It might be T12 fluorescent tube covers. So it's basically a round plastic tube. And what you do is you glue 2 pieces of wood in the bottom to keep the cars so they don't slide around in the tube. And you cut the end of the tube so that you can kind of set it over your track rails. And you could run your entire train into this T12 fluorescent tube between the rails of the track, put caps on both ends, and then take it with you somewhere.
Oh man.
And then, so you can have these tubes of track. When I was planning to go down to the model train club in Union, New Jersey, I was going to build a couple of these to be able to transport. So instead of just having all these cases of cars, they'd be in a tube that you just sort of tip the tube up and it just rolls right out onto the track. You don't have to fiddle and do all this nonsense.
Yeah, Ian was wondering if it was bass or bass.
I thought it was balsa. No, I'm just kidding. So Andy Estep brought something up to me. While he's posting, I'm going to ask this question that I'm kind of curious about. And somebody from the UK, if you're still here, or Andy, if you could explain it better than I can. When you buy trains in the UK, they post the era that the train is a part of on the box. So, if it's a 1970s boxcar, it'll say 1970s on it. But in the US, we don't have that. So what it means is, as a beginner modeler, when you go and buy a box car, you don't know if it's a 1950s or a 1970s or a 1990s box car unless you really know the differences between those box cars. So why don't we in the US have the year of what that train is, what era that
date.
train pertains to?
Yeah, the built date.
Roy says the NTL boxes do have the era info.
I was going to say that the biggest thing over here is, I think, and Jason could probably fill this in a little bit deeper, but the problem is that you had some railroads, especially as things were starting to go to pieces, they were still running stuff that was 20, 30, 40 years old on their lines, where, you know, the class ones were able to run the most modern pieces out there. So you could see anywhere from an old wood sheath boxcar sitting next to a 50-footer. And it would be like, what? Yeah, it just depended on what the state of the parent road was in. And I mean, we kind of to a point see that even today with a lot of and I saw it actually yesterday, with a lot of the rolling stock, with all the graffiti that's put on the cars. You know, I saw one brand new boxcar yesterday, and right behind it was one that looked like it had been around for like 40 years. I knew it wasn't, because it was the same style. It was just that it hadn't been through the car shops in any time too recently. So, yeah, but I mean, it just has to do with the fact that, I mean, we've just got stuff that spans decades.
I mean, that's a very good point, right? I'm gonna see if I can find a piece of rolling stock to actually give an example real quick.
I mean, you know, some have them and some don't. You know, like this says built in October of 1990. This tank car celebrates our 5th anniversary, but it doesn't really say what era this is. But the circus train that I picked up, it was the guy. So like this guy says right at the top, it actually says era 1930s to present.
Right, exactly. So I think it really boils down to either you know what you're really looking for, and to be honest, I can tell you there was a time with this railroad before I decided to really narrow things down. I went for the stuff that it was unique looking or had an odd paint scheme. In fact, I think Sparky actually has a hopper car that I sent him that was painted up for the. I think it was actually painted up for. Well, it was actually painted up for Canada, and it was orange and black. And it was just a really unique looking car. But then when I looked at it, and it had a built date, and the built date was way outside of the era that I'm trying to run, I'm like, you know what? I need to find somebody that wants this thing. In fact, I don't know if Hot Rod Rodney's still in here or not, but one of my first or very early contests, I had bought a blank Athearn boxcar, painted it blue, and actually put CSX lettering on the side of it. I decaled it myself, and it didn't take me 2 hours, and I didn't have to do lick and stick. But
so I guess it really depends on the manufacturer then.
Yeah. But what I was getting at is I went ahead and I went ahead and gave that up because the CSX was outside of the era that I wanted to be in. So
yeah, but I follow what M&M Rail says. It's like, you know, if I think it looks cool, I get it. And that's kind of...
And to be honest, that's how I got myself into trouble very early on.
That's why I have all of this.
That's the reason why you've got all those GG1s and all the circus stuff.
Exactly.
It's the same. You get bit by that bug, and it's like, I want. And eventually you're looking at it going, the heck was I thinking?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to run all this stuff.
So I've got a piece of rolling stock here. It's a 50-foot automobile boxcar. And so you're not going to be able to see it, but in very little bitty print, it says built 741, and then right under it's got repaired 1169. But then there's another date over here on this side that has the initials PB, and then it has 12 of 66, which means that's the last time that it was actually not repaired, but they did some type of maintenance with it. I know PB stands for Pine Bluff because they had a car shops there. But as far, Split Rock, he might know. But, like I said, this box car's got 3 different dates on it. And so technically, if this was to really go in any specific era of mine, it should go in 1976. But that's when they started doing away with the automobile box cars and going to auto racks. Yep. Which they probably just used it for regular freight, afterwards. So, but, that's one thing I haven't really paid attention to because, it would totally mess up with what I'm doing, as far as the build dates, is not necessarily what that build date is on there, but when is the last inspection date. I guess that's probably what that PB 1266 is.
Right. And you're right about that, Split Rock. There's no question. And one of the things that actually hit me the other day, I was actually showing the STS crew, there is actually a railroad that I used to. They had another one of these rather unique paint schemes, and I completely forgot about them. And that was the NY and SW, or NYS and W. And that's the New York, Susquehanna, and Western, otherwise known as the Suzy Q or the Susquehanna. They had a very bright paint scheme. It was yellow, and I think yellow and brown or yellow and black at one point. But that's one of the railroads that's actually a part of the East Coast, which is what I'm trying to model, that I don't have any representation from yet. So that's going to be one of the things I'm going to be looking into here, in the future, because I realized I'm also short on a few. Believe it or not, having 140 pieces of rolling stock, I'm still a little bit short on some things. So I'm going to be looking for some add-ons.
Split Rock saying different dates signify different things. So build date, rebuild date, and then reweight date. So that could be what.
That was probably what RB date was.
Right now, Roy's got old 60s and 70s SP engines and cars along with a NASA train. Nothing that is proper for my layout. Who cares?
See, that's the thing. It's true.
Yeah. This Solar Series, right? Which I know Roy's got as well, right? It's like, this doesn't fit on any layout. But yet, who wouldn't want to own this?
Well, it's kind of like the 76 trains that I've got. The 76 box cars and all that stuff. There wasn't a railroad out there that went ahead and I don't think painted up specific box cars, refrigerator cars, and gondolas for the original 13 colonies. It was just something that a few manufacturers did back in 1976. But it's just, to me, that's the collector's side. When you're to the point, and I know Jason's actually trying to cover 3 different eras, I'm down to basically just trying to stay within a certain number of years.
I don't think New Haven never had a GG1, did they?
Nope.
But how could you not want to buy this? Doesn't it look cool?
And I love that paint scheme that the New Haven had.
It's like, yeah. I just think it looks cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same as the Pennsy Bicentennial GG1.
Right.
Right. Yes. They're this one.
Yep.
Yeah. So I
actually
saw Athearn starting to make fictitious paint schemes, like they're painting the SP Cab Forward in daylight, which was never done. And then now they came out with an ES44 AC, which is like a very modern locomotive, and they've got it painted in Black Widow, and it looks slick.
Right.
I think it depends on the club, too. You say for clubs and show models, it's real important you don't mix eras. Really depends on the club. The
Yeah.
club, the really close club to me out in Queens, they don't care. They just want to have fun.
I want to have fun, but I also want to try and keep some sort of realism to it. I don't want to get so far out of the realm of the possibility. And that's the reason why, I mentioned in a couple of vlogs, especially when I did the 4th of July one, where I go ahead and I pull out the 76 stuff. I call those white flag extras, WFEs. So here it is. They don't have to fit. It's a white flag extra. Who knows where the heck it came from, and who cares? But when I'm in the normal operation, they're off the layout.
I believe. I'm trying to find one. Like, I don't believe any of this stuff existed. I gotta figure out a way to show this stuff. I gotta set up another camera for this. But this is a Ringling Brother. This one might be easier to see. It's a different color. But like these are Ringling Brothers heavyweight billboard cars. I do not believe that any of these existed. I believe that these were just sort of like ideas based on old Ringling Brothers art. So I don't,
Again, they're collector's pieces.
Passenger. It looks like a heavyweight passenger car from the camera.
This car is part of a 12-car series featuring heavyweight passenger cars and circus-style flat cars and wagons. Each car will be colorfully decorated, similar to some of Ringling Brothers' real-life heavyweight cars from years past.
It's very possible,
Oh, here we go. So this one, according to the... See, apparently if you just read the back of things, this ad car was one of the first cars ever painted in promotion of the Ringling Brothers Circus in 1890.
So there you have it.
So apparently this one's from 1890, and this one's probably made up.
Good luck, Greg.
Best of luck, Greg. Take care, bud.
Yeah, see, now I could spend all day reading boxes. Maybe I'll do that for a live stream. Is I'll just I'll read the back of every single box, every single Microtrains box on my.
I got one here.
Bueller.
There we go.
Bueller.
So you're converting. I knew you were going to convert.
No, actually, this is one of the in-scale prizes that had to be replaced for the next contest.
Gotcha. Derek, there is a guy, if you go watch video 24, I think, of mine, there's a guy that I showed some pictures of that's got a collection that makes my circus collection look pathetic.
So actually, Microtrain says this is an actual fantasy car. That it's not real. It's not prototypical.
Microtrain says that it's an actual fantasy car? Does that mean that it's not actual then?
Yeah, this car, the 4th entry in the Microtrains Special Edition Pepsi-Cola series, was created at the Talent Organ Shop, TA. Caleb Bradham's Pharmacy, the birthplace of Pepsi, is located in historic New Bern, North Carolina. Operated by the Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company of New Bern, incorporated in its first, opened its doors on the 100th anniversary of Pepsi-Cola.
I was just reading one of my Pepsi-Cola cars to see if it said the same, but I think this is actually a real Pepsi-Cola car.
Split Rock, the NYSW was just one of those ones that I remember seeing the paint scheme a long time ago, and it just completely slipped my mind that it was one of the ones. I wouldn't say it's an interchange specifically with my railroad, but one of the things that I've been trying to do over the last few years is I'm sticking with a lot of the East Coast stuff. I do have some things that are a little outside that realm. I do have a Denver and Rio Grande Western passenger train. I do have a Wabash passenger train, which I don't think ever came in, anywhere near Maryland. But they were just... Let's put it this way. The Wabash locomotive, I actually had a N-gauge.
I think when people say Wabash, they have to say Wabash. I think that should be required from now on.
But I had that. My grandparents had that locomotive in N scale, and I love the paint scheme, so I had to have one, an HO scale, which I finally got a couple years ago. But yeah, it's kind of like Santa Fe Bob went ahead and surprised me a few months ago with another one that I completely forgotten about, and it's probably one of the strangest paint schemes you'll ever see on a locomotive, and that was for the Atlantic Coast Line with their purple. There aren't too many railroads out there that ran purple on their locomotives. That was the only one that I know of. So yeah, I mean, it's just you run what you want. But it's how does it fit? But it's like I said, I'm trying to stay east of the Appalachians. So that's kind of where that comes in.
So Mike Pringle emailed me the other day, and he was telling me about this website called homeshops.net. And it is basically going through tangent scale models, and they are basically doing just fictitious railroads. So
Really?
yeah, and I mean it looks pretty cool. So the railroads that got listed is Arkansas Valley Copper State Railway, which is Arizona, Gulf and Ship Island, Kansas Pacific, Michigan Interstate, Texas and Great Northern, and Western Falls Northern, which Western Falls would be probably upstate New York, because it's got a logo with New York on it.
People are talking about Atlantic Coastlines. This is an Atlantic Coastlines Markland set.
It's a little too small for my layout there, Heath. Sorry.
Well, maybe if you had got the right scale layout, it wouldn't be a problem.
Oh, you know what? Then you just need to feed that so it grows up.
Hey, they've got GG ones to pull it, so I don't care. It's all good for me. Yeah, see, Hot Rods is the same thing. I run whatever. That's, I'm...
Oh, I mean,
oh,
hey,
here we go. So, Rich apparently had something to do with this car. I'm going to try and look it up. Let's see if I can find it.
I'd love to get a hold of some Alaska Railroad stuff, even though it's all
switch
long.
To N scale.
That would be a long way from home, but that would be really cool just to have a couple pieces of that.
There's a guy local that's all he models is Alaska Railroad HO scale.
So it looks like Rich sent in the photos for this car.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
John Arthur is adding some ACL to his layout.
I tell you what, like I said, I mean that paint scheme, it was just extremely unique. It's kind of like the Seaboard. The Seaboard at one time had a really, really odd paint scheme. It was like olive, drab, green, yellow, orange, and black.
Yeah, I gotta say, anybody that puts purple on their train cars, like, they're okay by me.
Well, that's like, so you look at like your short lines. Those are the ones that's really got the weird color schemes. There's this one short line, and they're still operating today, but like back in the 50s and 60s, each one of their diesel locomotives, which they were all switchers, were a different color. So we called them Skittles, because they did not have two single engines with the same color.
Well, we were talking about it the other day. The Fort Worth and Western Railroad. They've actually got names for their locomotives.
Yeah.
Great Northern made a circus series of boxcars, and they painted each car a different color.
It's a rainbow.
Yeah, I don't have it here, but I've got that set somewhere as well too.
Yeah, I know, John Arthur. I mean, I'm not knocking the Seaboard. I'm just saying it's probably among one of the oddest paint schemes. Again, olive drab green. Really? It's
so not army green.
No, it is. That's exactly what we're talking about.
So Seaboard. Because I know Microtrains makes an army green train. A whole car consist.
I used
So
to
I know they
love.
have it.
I used to love the Santa Fe.
Now,
With
wasn't there was another railroad that had a passenger train known as, it wasn't the Blue Comet, but it was the Comet, and it was up in the New England states somewhere. And it was, the whole train was purple. Locomotive
Really? Could have been an
passenger-
ACL.
Yes. No, it was not the ACL. It was a different railroad. I
Oh,
cannot
really?
remember what it was.
Hmm.
Now you're going to make me Google it.
Olive drab would fit well with Pullman green. That is true. Kyle is saying New Haven. I believe he's answering your
Yep.
question.
Yep. New York, New Haven, and Hartford.
Yeah,
Had
like
the
I said,
Comet.
that was they had some interesting paint schemes on their locomotives as well. The New Haven.
Well, okay,
New
so you had the
Haven
Comet,
Comet
but
was
there was
blue and
also the
polished
Blue
silver.
Comet. These are two different trains. They said it was like the Celestial Comet. Craig's got a sign, like one of the, can't remember what type of signs you call those, but it's got like the lady where she's like half dressed, she's barely covered up.
Oh, the pinup girl.
Yeah, pinup girl signs. He's got a whole bunch of those in his office, and they're all railroad pinups. And I remember seeing that one, and it's solid purple.
Well, now that you've brought it up, you're gonna have to stay here all night until you
Till I find it.
find it.
I know, right?
DB Tech, this is all O scale. DB Tech says he's got a Desert Storm train that's light brown, and he's got a Marine train that's olive drab. There was a time where I was thinking about collecting some of, like Microtrains line made a like a Pearl Harbor memorial train, and they've got some other military more memorial stuff than than actual sort of new stuff. And I thought about collecting those for a little while, and then I looked at my bank account.
Okay, so
one day,
the Blue Comet was the Central of New Jersey, and then the Comet was New Haven and Hartford.
I forgot the Central New Jersey had
That was
at one point in time, I think, had some purple in there.
Derek is saying MBTA has purple locos and passenger cars.
Well, I was responding to Joe down here. Joe Rader was saying he still liked as a fan of the chassis, and it's the my railroad kind of falls into that same. The colors are the same as the chassis, but obviously the paint scheme is a lot different. I'm going to be changing that up here shortly as soon as I can get some stuff together and the weather kind of calms down.
This is my
F3?
only chassis up here, but I think I've got some more chassis downstairs.
F3 or F7?
This was a loco that basically came with every N-scale Bachmann set in like the 80s. So I don't know what it is. It says CNC 7071. If anybody wants to look it up. CNO 7071.
7071. That may have been, because I think I've got the same one in HO scale.
Chassis system 7071. Of course, this eBay listing's not going to say what it is. That is the wrong thing to click on. Now we're all Googling now.
I know, right?
All right, somebody talk while we Google.
It's an F7.
It is okay.
Actually, well, they say that one in HO scale is an F7, so more than likely the. Well, wait a minute. One site says it's one site says it's an F7, another site says it's an F9.
And Andy
So,
Steps
okay.
saying Bachmann did F9. He thinks.
Yeah,
So-
that's what it looks like.
I did find a picture of the Comet from New York, New Haven, and Hartford, and it's got the bluish does have like a purple tint to it, so Maybe that's
What
why I
about
thought it was purple.
Derek is saying check out Massachusetts Department of Transportation. They're purple
I
with a
did
big T
see
on the
I
side.
did see
Oh,
that
you
one
saw
on
that too. Okay.
image search.
Oh, interesting. I think he's saying in real life he doesn't think any F units made it to Chessie paint.
I don't think they did. Well, that's one of the things that Jason and I have talked about in the past. I've actually got an F7 from Athearn that is painted up in Southern Pacific Daylight, and the Southern Pacific never had an F unit painted in Daylight. That was more of a marketing.
Yeah.
It was more of a marketing thing for you to buy another one of these things for you to buy the locomotive because it's a unique piece. So that's more or less what that was. And Dave BNSFN scale says that the N was an F9. And when I actually looked up mine, I've got the same locomotive, same number in HO scale, and it comes up as an F9 as well. So
Yeah, here's the box for the Pennsylvania version from around the same time that I got that chassis, and this says it's an F9 by Bachmann, so it's probably the same mold and same exact everything except with chassis colors.
right.
Now, didn't the Central of Georgia did they have purple or was it like a really really dark blue?
It's the Central of Georgia, I think, was dark blue.
Oh,
With a slight purple hue to it, maybe. Kind of a mix.
Yeah. I think I've got that same one too there, Joe. I think I've got a GP38 that's in a number that would never made it to chassis. Well, it brought up the whole thing with the Susquehanna though the other day when I was looking for a boxcar.
I
And
didn't think a U50 was a D. I knew there was a U50C. Because the U50s were BBBB.
and I guess this gets into this whole thing of like, we're modeling, how prototypical do we want to be, and at a certain point, if we're not voguing, we're modeling. At a certain point, it's like, how prototypical do we want to be? And if you want to be that prototypical, at a certain point, you're probably going to just have to paint stuff, yourself.
yeah. And that's
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
like the the ACL stuff though, purple and silver. Such
Yeah.
a cool, color.
Well, I think like we were
yeah.
talking about it. I think we were just hitting
No,
up
Rory-
on it a bit ago. But the Central and New Jersey Central, I think, was actually had that purple and orange to it, or was that the Central of Georgia? Every once in a while, I'll see
Central
one
of Georgia.
every once in a while you'll see the Norfolk Southern the heritage units go through, and they've got. I have a hard time picking up whether that was the Jersey Central or whether that was the Central of Georgia, because the naming on the sides is just really small.
Oh yeah, the
heritage units.
Yeah, I kind of want that CNJ Heritage unit though. The only one that I think made it though was Fox, whatever they were called,
Fox Valley.
Fox Valley, and it's you can't get one with a decoder in it. So at the time I didn't want to deal with it, but maybe now I'll deal with it. We had Alco painted in Atlantic Coastline colors before it was taken out of service. F in SP was Black Widows. Yeah. I modeled 1953 Cheyenne, Wyoming, but I own a Seaboard Coastline because of the paint scheme. There you go, see? CNJ early scheme was dark blue and orange, later olive green and yellow. There you go. See, just to confuse you. Well, I think I am going to start wrapping this up because I got to go take the dog out, and I completely forgot I was streaming it all today anyway, so, it's kinda...
Hey, we were able to fill 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
I know, right? I'll be back at 9:30 tomorrow if anybody wants to fill more time, because the only thing I'm working on between now and tomorrow night is probably more of this studio space. So
And that's
I don't know
9
that I
a.m.
can have
No,
Well, you
No, not
see
9 a.m.
what's behind me is what I'm working on. So
a chop saw.
yeah.
see,
I could have used the chop saw today. Where were you?
Well, why'd you not come by?
I was gonna swing by.
I've been home all day except for the one time I went to Home Depot, and then I ended up
gotta say,
catching the
though,
UP 1111 on the way back.
These edges look pretty good, though. I feel like I did a pretty good job cutting these out, considering my woodworking skills.
Looks better than the tunnel portals I'm putting on this removable backdrop.
I'm gonna.
I thought Sparky went to bed.
yeah,
He
really.
go to bed, didn't he?
No, he's still hiding in here. He's been lurking.
He just can't get enough of us. That's what it is.
Probably actually just wishing I'd go away, but
Wishing that. Mark says, great show, Heath. Not sure how much you pay Ray and Jason, but they deserve a raise. I will give you a 200% raise.
That ain't jack crap.
200%. Take it or leave it.
That's the same as 1,000%.
You want 1,000%? I'll give you 1,000%. So what do you guys got going on? What's next in your worlds?
well, for me, it's going to head and finishing out this latest schedule run. Going back and fixing some rolling stock and some locomotives that are giving me some issues. That I already fixed one set because I needed to, believe it or not, but my Southern F7, for whatever reason, the gears got out of alignment in the forward truck, and it was grinding.
Ooh.
So I had to take the gear tower apart and redo it. That got that cleaned up.
I love a good grind every once in a while. Roy, thank you so much. Late night stream hope, at least slightly late for me.
Anyway, but I had a couple pieces of rolling stock that needed to get fixed, and now I've got a couple more. So, one of the things I'm finding is that I've definitely got to go back and rework my my KD couplers a little bit. I think some of them are just a little out of gauge, but
Well, if you want some practice, I've got I don't know how many that all need KD couplers on them, so I'll send them your way, and you can.
It's
you
better
can
than
practice.
Microtrains couplers. I had to put some of those on a couple of Aaron's cars the other day because
Oh, they're small.
well,
Do
it's
you have the tool?
passenger. So it's that passenger set that Steve Childers got Aaron.
Yeah.
You know, he's got 2 Concours cars, but the other 2 are Arnold's from West Germany. And the couplers, were like this.
yeah, they ain't gonna work.
So I had to swap out the whole truck, and I didn't have the jig to do it because Microtrains has a jig that holds it all in place.
Yeah, I
So that
have
way-
the jig, but I do what Roy says.
Yeah.
I just get the whole truck.
Well, that's what it was. It was the whole truck, but the coupler bracket you got to screw onto the truck. And so
Yeah,
the coupler,
but
coupler bracket wasn't attached to the truck. I had to screw it on
Right.
there, and
that's easy.
Yeah. No, not with fat fingers like this. Man, I had to use like some tweezers and stuff, and I still had problems trying to get the screw in.
That's actually, it's funny you say that. That's actually what I do. I have a pair of tweezers with a little tip that curves, and I
Yeah.
hold the screw with it, and so the tweezer's like out of the way, and screw it in.
I think I'm just going to stick to lick and stick decals.
Lick and stick couplers. You could just glue all your trains together if you're not going to change the order they run in.
Well, it ain't my train; it's Aaron's.
So Aaron, when is it? Next week, Aaron's layouts at the train show?
21st and 22nd.
21st and 22nd. What's the name of the show?
It's the Jacksonville, Arkansas Train Show.
So anybody that's just happens to be hanging out in Jacksonville, Arkansas.
Yeah, it's maybe 15 minutes outside of Little Rock.
Okay.
So it's just right outside of Little Rock.
I don't know what. Like sometimes I look at my dog and I wonder like what the hell is going through my dog's head. And I just looked at Ray and I had that same exact thought that I have when I look at my dogs. I'm like reading the chat, like trying to like figure out.
No,
like,
it's just that my mind is, well, it's in the gutter. But that's beside the point.
Roy,
not enough bowling.
I might stream part of it. Me and Aaron, we actually have a booth, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to have someone kind of relieve, so that way I can get out and do some walking around and whatnot. So I'll see what I can do. Is Amanda going
to be there or no?
No. She might show up, a little bit here, a little bit there, but she wanted to stay home, which I don't blame her. So, but
it's awesome though that you're getting out there with Aaron for that.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, the motivation to to put some work in to then be able to show it. I think is great.
Well, and they do contests and things for those who bring out layouts or something that they're working on. I was hoping to get started on this switcher locomotive that I'm going to be custom doing, but I'm probably just going to wait and submit it for next year. So,
is it a show or is it like an RPM meet or is it what?
It's like an all-in-one, really.
See, Ray's doing it again. He's like sitting in his chair, bouncing. He's like, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I can't figure out what is going on. And he's just like over there, like he can't control himself. It's like it's gonna come out.
No, I would say it's kind of like an all-in-one because people do bring their layouts up there to display for the general public. It's not like there's a room just layouts and a room for the sales. It's all mixed in together.
Yeah.
So it's unlike any other train show I've seen locally, and I've only been to a handful of other ones where they would have all the displays in one area and then all the sales in another. It's all mixed. And I prefer it that way.
Yeah.
So
I do as well. When the layouts are, even at the Edison show, they kind of stick the layouts like off in the corner by themselves. And I kind of wish that they would just put the layouts in the middle and then put all the vendors around the outsides or something so that you kind of like walk in and out of it.
It really depends on that vendor because like, if you got a vendor that's selling nothing but, say in-scale stuff, they might need maybe one, maybe two 8-foot tables. But when you get someone like Craig, at the hobby shop that I go to all the time, he's primarily O-scale. He needs like 10 freaking tables. Because the O-scale stuff is so huge.
Amherst was crazy. You would walk into a room at Amherst, and there would just be a wall of orange.
Yeah.
Like, just this huge wall of orange stuff because the boxes are just huge. And then there'd be a table of N-scale stuff that was just as much stuff, but it was only a table.
I swear, like, 10% of Craig's inventory is in the hobby shop. The other 90% he's got either in storage trailers that are like 53 footers. Yes, 53 footers with like a slim walkway down the middle of it. And then he also has this huge shed that's like 40 by 60 that's got shelving all up in it.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he does do the other scales, but O is especially, 3-rail Lionel. That's his bread and butter. So
well, I gotta say, the great thing about wrapping up a stream is that I can literally just turn the lights off and walk out now. Whereas before, I had to like put everything away and pile everything up on the desk and move everything around. I'm just gonna say goodnight and go walk out the door,
Don't
and
forget
that's
to
gonna
lock
be
it.
the end of it for tonight.
Yeah, don't forget to lock it.
Yeah. I'll watch the video. I'll watch the video of my girlfriend to remind myself to lock it.
Well, what you do is you take a clip of it and you like tape a picture of it right above the doorknob. So that way, every time you walk out, you see your girlfriend locking the door.
Oh, that's funny. That's good. That's good. Yeah. I'll generally remember to lock the door. There's enough stuff in here to remind myself of that over and over again. But I do need to get going. I will be back at 9:30 tomorrow night. It'll probably, just because I'm still doing a lot of work in the studio, be another little studio update. I'll try and get some Z-Scale running, and I'll see if I can get the diorama set up, and short commute. The commute when I was in the apartment was shorter. It just took longer to pack everything up, but yeah. So I'll see everybody 9:30 tomorrow night. Have a great night, and go check out some other people's videos.
Night, everybody.
Bye.
It's all about humanity.